Well, I don't know who need to hear this, but it's never too late to be what you want to be. Whatever you desire and that you can see yourself being, do that. What you waiting on? Like, really look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you waiting on? And the first thing that's gonna come to mind is a list of excuses. The main thing is gonna be your job, and then it's gonna be your children. It really supposed to be your children first, but we all know that humans dedicate their time and their loyalty is more towards their job than their own kids sometimes. People are more loyal and dedicated to their job than they are in their own relationship sometimes, because it gives them a sense of security as an exchange of money. People will go to the same job year after year, get bonuses, get income tax checks, get overtime pay, and never consider investing in themselves when they know the entire time that they've been on this job or any other job, they done got tired. Deep down in their soul, they don't really want to be there. I mean, unless you really, really love your job now, and you done found something that's of your liking and loving, and you cool with being there, that's different. But we talking about those who are not really too pleased with their job, and they constantly talk junk about their job. They constantly talk about, quitting one day, not doing this forever, whatever. But they never put the same dedication and determination into their craft or whatever it is that they truly want to do as they do that job. Now, when you got responsibilities, I know it can be hard. Been there, done that. Especially when you got children, because the first thing you got to do is make sure you got a roof over their head and make sure that they straight regardless when it come down to school, clothes, shoes, haircut, hygiene, health, all that. I get it. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's why if you go back to when we was in school, like if we, finished school, graduated, whether we got a job, went to college, whatever, the bottom line is if we focused on getting ourselves together, stacking our bread, having a stable career, and then getting into a relationship that was solid, not going through different people, and then actually having kids with people that mean us well because we put the time in and know that and all that, everybody's life would be different. We wouldn't have to go through the stages of having a whole bunch of baby mamas and baby daddies, not to judge nobody, because we all done made those mistakes. We all done felt like it was real love, this was gonna last forever, people manipulated us, used us, I get it. But it still do not take away from the fact that we could have chose differently, because that affects our future. And we find ourselves in these repeated cycles of trying to keep up, trying to stay up, trying to hold stuff down. Women tapping into their masculine energy, dudes leaving women to do everything by themselves, whether they with them or not, whether they got kids with them or not, don't matter. It's just a whole bunch of crazy energy. And all that keeps a person from not only tapping into their power, but doing what they was born to do, or doing what they just got a passion for doing. And it's kind of off the subject, but it's kind of relative to what I'm talking about. A lot of men and women debate about why more women got their stuff together, as far as like car, job, home, and holding the kids down and all that, versus men. A lot of men, jump from house to house, got roommates, can't keep no place long, and you got some men who be constant and consistent with what they do. But for the most part, more women are more stable than most men. And a lot of people say women hustle harder than men, which in some cases it is true. I ain't even gonna lie, because I know some women out here who will out hustle some men. But outside of that, we got to understand that if this man free to roam however he want to, whether he got a job or not, or on child support or not, he don't really got nothing to worry about but him and whatever woman he decides to pick up along the way that he cater to, if he choose to do that. But a woman, 9 times out of 10, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, she got to make sure all them straight and her. So she gonna always put them first and always make sure that everyone's covered. So she got to have her stuff together, or she gonna have to live with somebody else with all her kids, or go to a shelter with all her kids. And ain't no real woman gonna want to do that. I mean, you know, situations happen the way you got to do that. But I'm talking about if you doing what you supposed to do, why would you have to resort to that when you got other options? And that's what it be. So it's the same way when it come down to the reality of wanting to do what you want to do. You gotta figure out what you want to do, but at the same time you gotta balance your responsibilities if you have those responsibilities. But it can still be done though. People want to blame it on their age. Well, you know, getting on up in age. So well, it's a lot of people who ain't get their careers or their passions and crafts and things of that nature popping until they was 40, 45, 50 years old. Even if you can't enjoy the benefits and the fruits of the labor for nothing but 10 years, your kids can, they grandkids can. After the fact, you lay the foundation, you put them in place, you set them up for good deeds. So it still plays out in a good way either way. The thing is though, you can't never give up. People like to give up. And when years pass by, you hear them, darn, I should've, I would've, wished I would've, should've, could've. Yeah, no, that's why I don't give up on that. And then I'm passionate about, okay, how long it takes, something got to pop. And when you are one of those people who passionate about the life that you want, that's how you gotta look at it. You don't put no time limit on nothing based on how your life feels at the current moment or your age. Like, age is one of those things that blocks a lot of people from being successful. We ain't even supposed to be celebrating birthdays as it is, because it reminds you that you're getting old. You shouldn't even be worried about how old you getting. You ought to be thinking about how brighter you getting, how lighter you getting, how brilliant, how intelligent, how more knowledgeable you're getting. You know what I mean? The way you think about yourself is what you're gonna feel on yourself. So display those positive energies and tap into what you want to do because you love doing it. But don't give up. You got all these hours in a day. You got all these tools, especially the internet, that allow you to figure this thing out. It's all about how much time you apply. It's all about how dedicated and serious you is about doing your own thing. But don't ever think that just because you're getting older and the world getting colder, that you can't come up or be who you see yourself being. Because everybody else coming up. I know not everybody, but I'm just saying, like, you ain't no different than anybody else. The only thing that make you different is the fact that you're authentic because you was born to be that way. That's what make you who you are. But you got the same hours of the day, you got the same knowledge that can be seeked, and you got the same internet that you can get on to look for whatever you want, to Google whatever you want. Period. So consider all that stuff and start giving up on yourself, especially before you get started.